Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus once again. As you've noticed, most of my videos have been from my telephone, and they're a little bit different than this right here, but have to use what we got. This message I want to deliver to every ear that can hear, and let it be whatever it is. 2020, March, United States of America, is an example of a crisis that is being experienced all across the human experience as far as I can see. Coronavirus. And it's supposedly pretty dangerous, affecting a lot of people and taking a lot of lives. And it is not bias. It is not prejudice. It is all inclusive. So I take this moment as something uniquely special when I bring this message to you. And before I deliver it to you, and I hope it's not a long one, I want to ask you, if at all possible, I would like for you to take a look in the mirror. Take a serious look in the mirror and try, if you can, to reassess yourselves. Try to look at you right now and look back through time. Are you appreciative of who you are now? If you are, is that enough? If you aren't, what are you going to do? This is a time for all Americans, and I'm sure people everywhere, to reassess what's important to them. We have called this a new world, America. We have professed ourselves, as all nations do, that we are the greatest on the face of the earth. Not only that, we are the greatest to ever exist. And not only that, we the people are far advanced more than any other people ever to live on earth. That's the deception that we tell ourselves, not just in this country, but as my significant other would say, all over the world. And it is practiced everywhere. I ask you again, are you looking in the mirror? What is it that you see? Do you see joy for everyone, everywhere? Do you see it? In your history, do you see it? Do you see it anywhere in your past? You're looking at yourselves. Are you satisfied with what you see? This is a grand opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful opportunity, in spite of the coronavirus and what it is doing to us, for us, against us. But we can utilize this moment as one of the greatest moments in our human experience. And basically that would not involve too much, but for us to come out of that mirror seeing who we have been and not being satisfied with it, and making a decision that as we go forward, we will be different. And as we are different, let us plan, strategize. What is the difference that we want to reflect? What is it that is going to make our future so much better than our past? Then we must look at our past. In our past, and I'm sure all over the world, we see the haves and we see the have-nots. We see various forms of government, but the outcomes of every last one of them are the same. Poverty, crime and violence, pain and suffering, lying and cheating and stealing, hatred and racism and bigotry, terror and war. That is, we can't deny it, our history and that is our present with a touch of the coronavirus with it. I don't think any of us like that. We don't like that picture. And what are we doing about it? As we find ourselves in this situation, I don't care how much we try to reject it, as the evidence presents itself, we the people are trying all over the globe to do whatever we can to make things just a little bit better for us. Because we think if it's better for you, then it will be better for us. We see no better for us than that which we see better for you. Can you imagine here in this 21st century, at this present time, this which we have avoided all our lives is staring us right in our face today? Just when you've gotten through looking in the mirror and seeing who you were and how, for the most part, those of you who are dissatisfied, staring at the reality today, I'm sure you want to make a change. But what kind of change is it that you want to make? At this moment, I'd like to speak to the person of God. To the person of God, you know the truth. Your eyes are open and you can see. While at one time you used to follow the dictates of a superior power that you could, in your blindness, see. Came under the form of nationality, came under the form of race, came under the form of lies, whatever it came. But this opportunity comes. The person of God knows that and now sees. And with this sight, with this new way of seeing things, comes a new way of responding to it, comes a new way of acting. You see, with this new way, the person of God knows that that power which we cannot see, that is responsible for all existence, has designed it in such a way that we as human beings, every last one of us, and only the person of God can know this, can see this, that our needs, our wants, and our desires have already been prepared for. You can't see that if you're blind. You can't see that if your head is stuck in the sand. You can't see that if you are racist. You can't see that if you're prejudiced. You can't see that if you're filled with hate. No, my friends. You can't see that if you are a Republican. You cannot see that if you are a Democrat. No, my friends. You cannot see that unless you are a person of God. You recognize that all humans have, just like this virus is indiscriminate, that power of love made it possible that every human being could live in peace, prosperous, freedom, joys of dreams. Lord have mercy. Whew. Education unlimited and unrestricted, health care from the womb to the tomb. And that all of these great requirements for so many people can be met because each individual requires something of this, if not all of this, to survive and to have the life that they would really love to have. And so by the design, each of us have some part that we can contribute in the process of manifesting all of these goods, all of these services. And by so doing, ladies and gentlemen, all that exists by the hands of men belong to human beings. The resources were given, the need, desires, and wants are there, and the people applied themselves, and the result was a reservoir of all those things. And they belong to the people to access them as they see fit. or as their heart desires, with no other power over any individual but God, the invisible power. Not democracy, not a constitution, not a law. All things are subject to God. And anything that you set up, the person of God only goes along with it as long as it lines up with God. And if it don't line up with God, he steps out. I mean, he's like the sun standing out in the middle of the darkness, so that all who step out there can see the moon or the sun. I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, to consider the presidential election of 2020. That we're going to go beyond of our projection. We're going to go beyond what we've been planning. We're going to go beyond of our thoughts and aspirations. We're not going to come out following Republicans. We're not going to come out of this following Democrats. We're going to come out of this following the Spirit of love, the Spirit of God. Now, when I say this, I'm saying this to all humans that can hear my voice. But there is only one that can walk according to the message that I'm giving to you today. And that is the one which is the person of God. If you're not a person of God, you're not going to do it. It requires the person of God to set the example for everything else. And nothing else is working. Nothing else is working. I don't care what deception. I know you told you could love God, but you got to obey the government that got rule over you, even though you were told you could not obey two masters. You're so confused. Well, that's what happens when you're using your imagination and not your sight. There's a time for imagination. There's a time for your sight. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's better to see. And then you can do what you're imagining. And it can prove whether it's good or not. I don't want to take any more of your time, ladies and gentlemen. I think and hope that I have said everything that is necessary at this moment in time. So what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to reevaluate your life, your input in this life, and where you want to go. What do you want to be remembered as in 30? What do you want them to look back at us and say? Well, it really doesn't matter. You just be who you are. And I guarantee you, you will know. And they will too. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying thank you so very much. And I hope it has not been a waste for you. I praise God that I had the opportunity to share it with you. If someone had only shared it with me when I was a younger, oh boy. But goodbye.